Everyone, and welcome to the Lure Fishing Project. In this episode, we are covering round one of the Action Fishing Tournaments for 2026, but this one was recorded last year on the 14th to the 12th, 25 at Berowra Waters. It's an interesting episode with a couple of guys new to the podium and one guy that's been here quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the intros and I'm going to tell you what happened in December.
Welcome to the Lure Fishing Project, where Australia's best lure anglers share their tips and stories to help you catch more fish and have more fun on the water. Here's your host, Andrew D.
Okay, for this one, I didn't actually get to fish this one, but I did head up there for the afternoon to watch the guys weigh in, which was pretty cool to meet some new people and obviously see some people that I've known for a number of years now. All right, so in this one, the fish activity wheel said 35 with the major bite period at 7:04 through to 9:34 a.m. High tide was at 5:19 a.m. at 1.38, running down to a low tide at 11:38 a.m. at 0.63. All right, let's get straight into it. Here are the anglers. Okay, so first up in third place, we have an angler dropping his fish measuring 35.5, 41.5, and 35, giving him a total of 112 centimetres even. I have Zane Duce. Welcome to the show, mate.
Hey, Andrew. Thanks for having me on the podcast. You know, as we spoke earlier, I've been recently listening to it after the Camden Haven Grand Final, and so far I've picked up many tips and tricks that helped me on the day today, on the weekend. So,
Mate, fantastic that you listen. We did have a bit of a chat before we started, and mate, you basically fished a good chunk of last year's season as your first year, and this is obviously the first round of the 2026 season, and mate, you've come up with a great result.
Yeah, the first season, my first round this time last year down in the Parramatta River, started out with a bag of 3 fish, and incident occurred where I rolled me PA14 in the Parramatta River. Managed to get back to the boat ramp where I saw Craig and found some snorkeling gear, and went back and found my phone, wallet, keys, and pliers, jig heads, all that, and managed to get back in time to weigh the 3 fish in. That was the most important part.
Absolutely. Getting your phone back's a big one. Like losing your phone, that's a problem these days.
Stuck at Parramatta with, living all the way up here in Nelson Bay, trying to get back. A bit of a drama, but it worked out. And as we mentioned earlier, this is my first season into kayak fishing. And last year, the goal was just to make that top 30 and see if I could get into the grand final, which I did, and fish that grand final up in Camden Haven.
Yeah, which was a good round, good experience, and yeah, apparently bigger and better things for this year. Yeah,
definitely.
Very good. All right, let's roll into this one, mate. Tell us about leading into this event. What did you do to get ready, and in terms of pre-fishing as well?
So I had never done the pre-fish before living up in Nelson Bay. It's quite far down, to sometimes get to those locations at Berowra Waters. But I did fish that last round in September last year. So I got a feel for the place and what I worked out what I might do this time.
Yeah.
And most of the time I just use the Google Earth, and I've got a Lowrance app on my phone where I can check where those deep edges are, listening to the podcast, hearing some of the anglers that have fished there before, working out, okay, they fished the deep parts, and just looking on that Lowrance app, I can see where those sections might be, the drop-offs, and, that was the plan, just to go down there and fish the edges where I'm quite confident doing, because up here in Nelson Bay I have a lot of that sort of structure that I can fish, and take that sort of knowledge down into that environment. And, yeah, that was the plan, was just to work those edges. Okay. And directly across from the boat ramp, there's lots of boats there and the edges, but with 50-odd anglers this time, it was quite packed. It was standing room only over there. So I kept going and pushed on to my plan was just to head around towards Deep Bay and that Oakey Point down there. I didn't want to go too far up the river. I just wanted to stay where I felt comfortable I could get back in time.
Yeah. And are you still in the PA14?
Still in the PA14, yeah. I ended up getting another one with a power pole on the back and a different sounder. So that's working well for me.
Yeah, very cool. And prior to fishing down here, what was your sort of idea on what sort of lures you're going to throw?
So listening to the podcast and watching a few videos, just those rolling cranks. I've been using the pro lure ones at the moment, those deep 36s or extra shallow ones that I've been using quite well. Matte black or combat watermelon colour. I know Jamie Cole loves those. So I went down to Hot Tackle and got a few and put them in the kit. And I thought I'll try these out and see how they go.
Sunday morning comes around. Mate, tell us about how your day started.
Yeah, so woke up and I slept down at the Rams, just travelling down from Nelson Bay is a bit far sometimes. So I stayed down the night, got all my gear ready and launched out about, I think we left about 6:15. Initial plan was to head over to those boats and the edges there. I think my first cast went over the top of a boat, so I sort of had enough of that.
Yeah.
Pushed on a bit further and, I ran past Glenn Allen and he'd mentioned he bagged 2 fish already or, 35 and a 41 and I thought, it's on here.
Sounds like Glenn.
Yeah, he was like right pretty much where I was heading towards and so I pushed past him, fished those edges with the rolling cranks, those D36s in the matte black, not a touch, not a single touch.
Right.
So I thought I just stuck to the plan and just kept casting up in the edges and I couldn't get a fish, couldn't get a bite.
Okay.
Not a tailor, no nothing.
That's comp fishing.
And that's pushed around a bit further along that same edge in the shade before the sun come up, and from there a few other anglers had mentioned they were getting some fish, a few with some size 35s plus, and from there I was getting nothing at that time. Pushed up into one of the bays and fished it. I think Warren Allen was further in front of me, so I cut across the other side of it and fished ahead of him. And I seen him, I think he got a few fish there when I looked back and nothing. So I switched over from, using the matte black D36 to the brown gill, just to try and change something up. Nothing. I could hear the cicadas, and as I know, I didn't throw one. One of the boys threw one early and got a big fish. There's 40 odd, 43 something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quiet. It was, pushing to 7 o'clock, nothing, changing over to plastics. I've recently been using the Sprat 75.
Oh yeah.
Either in the cleaver or, the saver colour.
And what do you like to throw them on? Are you on a jig head or a hidden weight?
Yeah, I've been using the 1/20th Bait Junkie jig heads, the finesse ones, or also moving it up to 1/16th. But I noticed there was no current at all. It was quite still.
Yeah.
And, it was the jig head was sort of just sitting on the bottom and it, with the Sprat, I sort of let it just hop along the bottom itself naturally with the current or give it a few hops.
Yeah.
And I had a few hits, but, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Pushing on to, 8 o'clock, 8:30 and, most anglers probably do it. I start looking at the clock and worrying like, here we go, here's a donut day for me.
Yeah, right.
When everyone around me is bagging fish and I'm thinking, what am I doing?
How's your blood pressure, mate? Was it
through the roof?
Yeah, you're like
through the roof. And I was thinking, what am I doing wrong? I had, in the kayak, I had 8 rods with every lure you could think of tied on.
Yeah.
Yeah, from pro lure, rolling cranks to baby vibes to stick minnows to everything, just tied on, but nothing. And I was thinking, I'll try it over to the Eco Gear Aqua Prawn, which I have most of my success on with the Aqua Prawn. Casting up, letting it sink down, because there was no current. I thought it would just sink into the spot and not a hit.
Right.
So the blood pressure's going up. And I got around to Oakey Point, just like at the top of Half Moon Bay there, I think it's called. And Tezza come around the corner and he hit a fish on a plastic that done him quite early, like quite quickly.
Yep.
He hooked up, then it went down and that was it. I heard him yelling out. And I thought, well, he's in there. I don't want to push further into that bay. There was a few kayaks. So I turned around, I'm getting towards 9 o'clock now, still not a fish in the bag. I think I got one tailor, like a tiny tailor, not even 10 centimetres. So I pushed back past Tezza, heading back towards, go back towards the, the boats and things like that. And I thought, I've got the baby vibe here and I'll just tie that on. I pulled off the Eco Gear Aqua Prawn and tied on the matte black baby vibe.
Yep.
UV I got from fishing.com. And I thought, I don't know how to use this. I've watched Adam use it quite a lot down where he fishes.
Right.
So I thought I found the edge where it was quite a steep drop off between the bank. It was probably about 2 meters out, and I cast parallel to the bank and just let the vibe hit down, and then I sort of hopping it back, just working the action.
Yeah,
so the first cast really just learning how to use the lure with no fish in the bag. Just, here's a lure, let's try and work this out.
All right, let's do a comp day.
Yeah. So I got it in, and I thought, okay, I don't know how to use it. Second cast, I seen the sounder have a bit of bait lined up on it, so I cast forward and let it sink right to the bottom. I'm about 6 meters of water, and then a few hops, and then it would have been the second or third hop, it loaded up, and I thought, I'm on here. As I wound up, and I was on 4 pound leader, so I was all right. And it come out from the bank, so it didn't go back up into the shallows.
Yeah.
And that first fish went 35 and a half. And, knowing those with the mats, I sort of looked at it and went, okay, I'm going to go 34 because where the tail sort of comes down, or, lining it up, I thought I'll go 34 just to be safe.
Yeah.
And I was happy then. That first fish come at about 9:04, 9:05. So, about a solid 3 hours nearly of fishing with nothing. And, that blood pressure sort of up and watching the clock and thinking, but that was it.
That's it.
So that first fish on the baby vibe, first time using it. And then it was, once it was in the bag, in the net, it didn't fight too much. Once it was out in the deep water, I was quite happy with it out there and pulled it in, had a few more casts in that area, and then nothing. It would sort of just shut down. And I think that was, most people were that I'd seen were getting that one fish, it'd either hook up or they'd lose it in that area, and then it would just go quiet.
Yeah.
So, that was the first fish, and I was happy with that one in the bag. And then after that, the time seemed to slow down because my plan was to head back up into that Calabash Bay, which is right up the back. There's some sand flats up there and some flats sort of, if you're coming from the starting point, just go around to the left and up in there.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the plan, was just to head up there and fish those pontoons. There's some houses and pontoons there and a few boats. And so I went up there, and as I was getting up there, I saw Jose. He was out in the middle of the bay, and I thought that's where he was fishing, not knowing that he'd just come off the boats. There's 2 boats there right in the middle of this bay.
Yeah.
And they're quite big boats. And I said, how'd you go? And he said, I've got my bag. And that fish was, I think he said to me it was 40. Wow. So he pulled off that boat from memory. It was a 40, and then I think 34. What? I'll just have a check. What he's
got a 41 and a 35 and a half and a 32.
Yeah, so he got the 32 and then the 41 off that boat.
Yeah, right.
And then I thought he was out in the middle, so I said to him, I'm going to head up into that flats up the back there and fish. And, being Jose, he's given me some knowledge, and, thanks to him, he said, don't bother because there's stingrays up there, heaps of them.
Right.
And he'd been up in there. So he said, no, don't go up there. And so I pushed to the boat that was closer to the bay, the back of the bay. It's a large, wider boat, and there's a blue one. And he fished it for a bit. And I thought, what will I fish this with? So, watching some Steve Morgan and these stick minnows and Adam, I got one and tied it on. So I was using the, 3 pound straight through fluorocarbon.
Yep.
Which I've used up here in the bay, and I know it's quite strong. I can pull some fish out of some mangroves with it. Definitely pull some lures out of the tree with it too.
Yeah.
So I cast just that up against that first boat was closer to the bay, and it was moving a bit too much. It was getting blown around a bit, and I could not get the lure to either my casting right up against it, and it would move away from it.
Yeah.
So Jose, he tied on a little muss. I remember he said he tied on a muss, and he cast up under the boat, which was directly behind me, and I heard him yell out. I think he dropped a fish, and then he had his bag, so he kindly let me just fish both of those boats so I could get my bag. Thanks to him, which was quite luckily. So
yeah,
I moved back to that boat, he was on the blue one, and cast the stick minnow. So right up the front near the mooring block, so in the V of the hull, I sort of cast it in between that so I could sink it underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And it come about the middle of the boat, and I didn't feel anything at the start. When I got to about the middle of the boat, I was out off it, and I didn't feel anything, and I thought, oh, well, I better wind up now. And as I wound up, I felt it get heavy, and I thought, oh, I want to know what this is. And then it took off. But I was out in 6 meters of water, so
Okay.
I pulled it out. The drag was locked on it, so I pulled it away, pedaling backwards, 3 pounds straight through, thinking,
Yeah, giving
I
it to
pulled
it.
hooks on this little stick minnow, yeah. I give it to it, and then it dove deep. I seen it in the water, and I saw it was big, and I thought, oh, this is good. And it was quite heavy, so it's got me net ready, and it dove down, just straight down, a few lunges down, which I was happy it didn't go back towards that boat.
Yeah.
And then pulled it up, and once I got it in the net, I seen how big it was in the net. I sort of wrapped the net up a bit and tangled it in the net so it didn't jump out. And yeah, that fish went 41 and a half. It was my PB in the comps.
Really?
So,
How good's that?
yeah. So yeah, the first fish I got 35, that was a PB. And then, that second one, 41 and a half was that was my next PB. And
Wow.
after that, I sort of just sat there and was like, oh, Jose, like, thank you, mate, for like letting me fish that.
Yeah.
Because he would have, he probably could have pulled that fich off that boat.
100%. Would have made a big difference to his bag.
And then, that was it. And I thought, I'll leave that boat for a bit, because I was out a bit further, probably about 10, 15 metres off the boat, getting blown around by the wind. And I let the big brim out in the middle. And I saw Nelson Grillo. He was on the rock wall directly across from me. He was fishing it. And he had seen me going back and forth between the two boats. And yeah, he was seen me land it. But, I was quite happy to get it in. And I moved away from the boat, because sometimes my casts hit the side of the boat, or they don't go where I want. And it makes a bit of a ruckus. So I went back to that white boat, which I didn't get anything on. It was just a bit quiet there for me. Maybe it was moving too much, and I don't know. So then I went back to the blue boat and did the same thing, but I thought I'll cast in the middle of the boat this time. And just let it float towards the back.
Yeah.
And see where the fish might be sitting in that boat, either at the front or at the back. And it got right to the back of the boat, pretty much where the step was, and it loaded up straight away. I felt this one hit it.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, here we go. And once again, same thing, pulled it out with the drag, was just a bit locked. But once I got him out in the deep away from the boat, it's quite easy to get him into the net. And then that last one went 35.
Right.
So,
and that was your three fish.
That was me. That was me 3 fish that I weighed in. And Jose could have, I reckon if he'd have fished that boat, that 35 and 41 possibly could have been him, and that would have taken him. He would have won the comp.
He would have won.
That would have been about 117, 118, I guess, with his
That's
first
right.
fish. And so it's thanks to him that I got those 2 fish, because he let me kindly, after he got his bag, he pushed off the boats.
Yeah, gave you the space. How good's that?
Yeah. So a big shout out to him for letting me fish that boat.
That's right. And then I'll tell you, because I was back at the ramp, he went back in time to get ready to do the weigh-in, so he was back early as well.
Yeah. So that was the fish, and I thought, well, I'm happy here. I've got about, I've said about 34 for both of those, and then the 41. I thought, I'll be up there maybe in like the top 20, knowing the caliber of anglers that fish those comps. And they've had a lot of time down there. And, I thought, hearing Glenn Allen and that saying they're pulling 40s and 41s, I thought, okay, there's going to be some big fish here, and I'm going to be somewhere in that top 20, I was hoping. And I thought, well, I'm happy, and I've got my bag, so I'll head back towards still had about those 2 fish come at 9:59 and like 10:05, like pretty much one after the other.
Yeah, so you had time.
Yeah. And I had plenty of time to just sit there and fish it again, but I thought, no, I'm happy that I've got my bag, and off I'll go. I'll go back along the edge back towards to the boat ramp, and I just bought a new Daiwa BFS reel, the Gekkoben and the new BFS rod. So I thought, I didn't throw that around all day because I just wanted to catch some fish. So I thought I'll go back and cast up against those mangroves and the rock edges on the way back and have a fish there. So I didn't hit any fish there on the way back, and pushed up, and I thought I'll fish one more boat with the stick minnow before I head back in.
Yeah.
I end up getting one last brim, and that was only about 28 centimeters. And as soon as I seen it, I knew it wasn't any sort of an upgrade. It was quite a skinny little bream, but compared to the others, they were quite chunky. This thing was skinny.
Yeah.
Living up the back of that those boats, probably not much up there for him to eat.
Yeah, fair enough. And with the stick minnow, have you fished that much before?
That's the first time I fished it.
Right.
That and the baby vibe.
And the baby vibe.
Oh, yeah, the River to Sea baby vibes. That was the first time.
And did you jump online and order some more today?
I will be. Yeah, I'll be getting some different colours.
Fair enough.
But this time I'll make sure I get them rigged, because I put in those stick minnows and the swivels and the hooks on. I got a couple in my fingers. So, sorry, Adam, I'm going to get them rigged.
Yeah, get Adam to rig them. He loves it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So, look, you went back to the weigh-in. Remember, you and I had a bit of a chat as you were kind of moving around the line, and you said you had about 112, I think you might have said. I can't remember.
Yeah. I got back to the ramp and I was putting my kayak up onto my trailer, and Jose come past me, and he said he sort of knew what fish I said. I said 34s and a 41, selling myself short. He said, he goes, I got 108. He said, you'll be like around that top 5 mark. Mm-hmm. And I thought, maybe he hasn't spoken to, the others.
Yeah.
I don't know who he spoke to. So, and I knew some people hadn't come back to the ramp, and then I come back to the weigh-in, and I was speaking to Jeff there, and he's telling me how he got that monster bream.
I know.
He got that on the baby vibe too. It gave him some trouble. And I said, once I weighed mine in, I was probably about the 5th person to weigh me, and I asked Craig and that. I said, what did I get? And he said 112. And I thought, okay. Mm-hmm. And then, speaking to Jeff, he went 113. I thought, there's got to be some bigger bags than, ours, surely. But I said, no. We're coming in early top 20s, hopefully here. And, speaking to yourself, you sort of were like, you're up there a bit.
Yeah, that's right. I hadn't heard bigger bags. So I was like, you'll be going okay. So,
yeah. So, hearing the weigh-in, sort of, they started out, as we mentioned earlier, that, that first one I think was around, 100 or
that's right.
100, 103 or something like that.
103, yeah.
That was 10th place. So I'm top 10 here. And then, I think it went up to like 104, 105, 106. And then I don't think there was anything, in the middle of 106 to the next one.
And then it was Jose.
Maybe Jose, yeah. Jose's 108. And I thought, he's in 5th. And I thought, okay. Looking around, I thought, some of the, those seasoned anglers have already, weighed their bags in. Mm. And I was thinking, someone's jagged something here. And, getting up to 4th. And that 4th was, that 111.
Yep.
And then I thought, I'm 3rd. Like, I'm 3rd here, surely. And, that's it, From getting the smallest bream in Camden Haven was about 11 centimetres to come in top 3 like a few months later.
Yeah.
Is absolutely fantastic and a great achievement,
I think so too. Anytime there's 50 anglers, there's some really great anglers
and
there.
50 great anglers.
Yeah. You can get on the podium, you've done you can get top 10, but if you can get on the podium, you've done very well.
Yeah. And that was, my goal this year fishing the comps was to get that, that consistent bag, getting 3 fish, hopefully get some fish over 30s. My first comp, I think my biggest fish was about 30 in the grand final.
Yeah.
Was 30 centimetres in that grand final. So it was just those little goals that I thought, just consistent bag of 3 fish, get a bag maybe 3 fish over 30, and then, go from there. Hopefully, make that grand final again and hopefully finish in the top 20 this year. Like last year I finished overall about 26, 27. So that was to move into that, It's a long season, but, this round's set me in good stead.
I was going to say, that's a great start.
And, that's it. And that's all just through, I'm only new to the scene, as we said earlier, just listening to these podcasts, looking at, watching the YouTube videos of the guys that take their time to film their fishing. Yeah. It's absolutely valuable information which they share with the kayak fishing community and even, any community, how to target bream and things like that. So it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. How good is that? So third place, what did you get to take home?
So third place, $300, one of those big checks, which, sitting in my fishing rod room downstairs. It's, and the team do so well to pay that out straight away at the ramp. So it's, directly deposited into your bank, and took all my energy not to stop in at Hot Tackle at Morisset on the way home.
End it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it made it home safely. So, that was a great day out, getting $300.
Absolutely.
Put it towards some more fishing gear.
Yeah, it's usually how it rolls. All right, look, last thing before we shoot off, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Yeah, no, definitely. Being new to the scene, there's quite a few people to give a shout out to. Firstly, I'd like to give a shout out to my girlfriend. She doesn't fish, but somehow still supports me, listening to me talking nonstop about fishing, watching YouTube, sitting there, not going out. So I just want to watch my shows, and coming in and it's a fishing show on YouTube. The endless times where she's gone into my car and there's dialer of fishing rods all down the thing, lures, hooks, things.
Yep, hooks.
So, a big shout out to her, for giving me that time and that support to get out there and continue doing what I'm doing and fishing. A big thank you to Craig, Jose, and now Nelson Grillo, and all the sponsors for running those fishing comps. Without the sponsors, and like yourself and Podium Marine Wraps, HWS, then we won't be able to run. Always the anglers that come out and make it a fantastic day, and always sharing their knowledge and things like that. I'd like to give a huge shout out to the boys down at Hot Tackle, both stores, Morisset and Warners Bay, always giving me discounts on all of the fishing gear I buy. It become quite expensive hobby, but when you've got great blokes like that giving you, discounts, it's always helpful. Adam from fishing.com, it was the first time I'd bought anything from Adam online, and I received a message to say, your order was shipped, and I was like, I literally just placed it probably 5-10 minutes ago.
Yep.
Him getting that all out, and also his YouTube videos. Big shout out to Jamie Cole and Carl Dubois, James Tran for their YouTube videos. I've learned a lot just sitting at home watching and learning techniques. They're quite knowledgeable guys, and they're always helpful down at the ramps when they're passing that on.
Fantastic.
So, and yeah, definitely James from HWS. He fixed my Mirage drive, which was a bit broken from Camden Haven round, and he took it down to him after work and he fixed it up straight away. So huge shout out to HWS and James.
Very good. Very good. All right, mate. Well, look, congratulations on a great result in your first round of the year. And hopefully we get to have another chance to speak soon.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Andrew. And, thanks for all the time you have taken out today to put this podcast on, and, the events and the anglers that you've interviewed. It's absolute. I feel like I'm sitting amongst royalty, listening and, being a part of this podcast.
Well, mate, definitely a part of it now, mate. So there you go.
No, thank you very much.
Fantastic, mate. All right. Well, we will speak again soon, I'm sure.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. So up next in second place, we have an angler that is a regular on the show now. He dropped his fish measuring 37.5, 40, and 35, giving him a total of 112.5 and second place. With me, I have Rick King. Welcome back to the show, mate.
Well, g'day, Dave. Thanks for having me again.
Mate.
Racking up some frequent follow points here.
Oh, mate, exactly. I've just sending out invites to you before we start the comps. So, mate, you've done very well across multiple competitions too.
Yeah, it's been a pretty stellar 25, that's for sure.
Yeah, very good. Well, mate, and technically this is 26, so you've already started with a flyer.
Correct.
So yeah. So and from what I gather, mate, you're second on AOI at the moment too. So how good's that?
Perfect.
Very good. All right, mate. For this one at Berowra, mate, do you fish it much up there? Is that somewhere you go?
Not really. I've probably fished it 3 times.
Okay.
One previous AF3, like late last year or early this year it was. Yeah, and just probably have social fish once. And and then on the weekend.
On the weekend. All right. Well, tell us then, leading into the comp, what'd you do for pre-fishing or getting ready for the comp?
I didn't have a chance pre-fish, so I had to work, unfortunately, on the Saturday.
Yeah.
But I did go up Saturday afternoon, so I didn't have to make that wiggly drive at 4 a.m. in the morning.
It is a wiggly drive, mate. Down through Galston's a bit rough, isn't it?
Yeah. So I decided to stay there Saturday night.
Okay. And did you have a nice Saturday night?
Yeah, a couple of bevos and had a sausage sizzle, me and Warren Allen and Daryl Sillis.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, we had a little barbecue and we knocked a few bevos down, and it was a miserable night besides the bevos because it poured rain pretty much all night.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah, it was still better than that wiggly drive at 4 a.m. in the morning.
That's right. And the funny thing was it was a bit of a rough day Saturday, but Sunday it fined up. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, it was a great day Sunday.
Very good. All right, mate. Well, then let's roll into Sunday. Tell us a bit about how your day started. You got a couple of great fish. So how was it?
Yeah, so we launched pretty early. The AFT like to kick off nice and early. I think we're on the water at like 20 past 6 after briefing.
Yep.
The Saturday night, I sort of sussed a few anglers out that did fish the Saturday because I had a gut feeling fish could be in that transition period. So what I mean is like they could be still a little bit deep, but still on the edges coming up to have a look around. So I sort of, like I said, I sussed out the people that did fish, the pre-fish the Saturday. And it was what I thought. Some said they were still down deep on plastic. Some said they got a few up top. So sort of gave me an idea of what I wanted to do. So Sunday morning, I paddled straight from the boat ramp opposite the other bank, and there's a lot of boats there.
Yeah.
And the first boat, believe it or not, that I come to, I seen 4 bream on the mooring rope.
Right. So you saw them with your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're up high, and they were sitting on the mooring rope having a chew. So I thought, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Brat 124th into the mooring block anchor rope sort of location. First boat, I didn't pull a fish off. Second boat, I think I pulled a 29 tipper.
Okay.
That's a good start. Like, I'm 10 minutes into the comp.
Yeah. You're probably winning.
And, I thought, I'll hit these boats. So I persevered, and probably by 7:40, 7:30, I reckon, I had a bag. It wasn't a big bag, but I had a bag.
Yeah, that's nice.
And as us anglers, once we get our bag, it's sort of like the pressures lift off the shoulders, and then you can start to fish.
Yeah, right.
So, I think I had a 29, a 27, and a 25. Like, It wasn't a great bag, but it was
okay. 3 fish.
So then I went back to that transition period. So I went back to an edge. I fished an edge. I didn't get a touch. Nothing on the edge at all. So then I worked from the edge back out to that 3 meters of water with everything, cranks, plastics, muscle, traps.
Yeah.
I threw the whole kitchen sink at these things, and I could not get a fish.
Right.
But I didn't panic because I already had a bag. So I'm like, let's enjoy this. So, and from there I went, all right, let's go to structure. Let's go to pontoons, edges, etc. And I put on a crabby, 120 crabby, hit pontoons, couldn't get a fish. So, could not get a fish. And then paddling around, I think it's called Calabar Bay.
Yep, I'll look it up while we speak.
And there's a flat in there. There's a nice flat. And I thought, I'll just throw some cranks and plackies over this and see if they're up there. And as I've come around the corner, it was like 6 kayaks in there. And I'm like, I didn't want that.
No, not at all.
And I actually, from there, I just sat in the kayak and just had a rethink and had a sandwich and a drink and, okay, I've got me bag. Let's go and fish.
Yeah.
And I went back to the other side, so the eastern side, paddling along, and all of a sudden, on this one point, there was so many cicadas. Like, it was deafening.
Okay.
And I'm like, let's have another crack at surface. So I've pulled out the Temenko cicada, the 40 mil one.
Yep. The soft shell.
Yep, soft shell in black. And I was casting in that 2 to 3 meters of water, so parallel with the bank.
Right.
And I made sure that cast was still in the tree canopy line of the water.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. So, yeah, within the overhang sort of.
Correct. And first cast, woof. Come tight. And I'm like, oh, this feels better than a 29.
Yep.
Boated it was a 37 and a half.
Okay. Good upgrade.
Yeah, that's the fish we want. 3 of them, then we're talking.
That's right.
So I got him off, done the video thing, and going down this edge, still fishing that 2 to 3 meters of water. So these fish were obviously either mid-water or hiding in rock cracks down deep, looking up. These fish were keyed in on vibration or sound from these cicadas. So they knew what they wanted.
Yeah.
And, I kept going down that eastern side edge and bang, got another fish, 35.
Okay.
This is good. Kept going and then bang, hit the 40.
Right.
Like, now we're talking. We got a good bag here now.
That's right. Over 110 centimeters.
Yeah, we're talking, Mike. And I thought, because I only had one cicada, so I didn't want to risk throwing it in hard into the edges in case I lost it.
Yeah.
But once I had the 3 good fish, I started getting a little bit more risky and throwing it into the closer edge and bringing it out.
Okay.
But I found I didn't have as many bites.
Okay.
So these fish were coming, like I said, from that 2 to 3 meters upwards. So on the edge,
Yep.
they were obviously waiting for these cicadas to fall out of the tree and hit them.
Yeah. And was it really, like, you obviously got 3 fish. Was it really aggressive, or did you have a few misses in it, or?
The 3 that I actually got were, they wanted to eat it. Like, Oof. And first was on.
Yeah, nice.
But in saying, they come out and looked at it. So then you had to pause, and they sat underneath the lure. As soon as you shook it, gave it a shake.
Yep.
That's when they wanted it.
Yeah, right. It's one of the best ways to fish. The colours are so cool.
It's so good. But back to that. I started getting risky and throwing it in a bit tighter in the structure and stuff. And there was this one little, like, eddy type gap. And I tossed this cicada in there, and as soon as it hit the water, this thing come from nowhere and just stalked the lure. And I'm like, shit, this is a cracking fish. This thing is like 45, easy all day long.
Yeah.
I twitched the lure and it broke the surface like a bluefin tuna would, like leaped out of the water and missed it.
Oh.
I'm like, nah. And I left it there and thinking he'd come back, but he didn't.
Right.
So I threw him there again. Same spot, same cast. He was there again.
Okay.
I said, this is it. I'm going to get him.
Yep.
Same thing, shake, 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 boof, missed the hooks.
Oh.
5 cast at this same fish, and I still couldn't hook him.
Oh, no. No, and you didn't lose the lure. That's where I thought you were going. I thought, you're going to lose the lure here.
Didn't lose the lure.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, there you go. You know that was the winning fish.
I think it would have been. Like, it would have been my PB yellowfin bream, 100%.
Yeah,
It was massive.
Wow. Well, there you go. There you go. Certainly would have had a big enough mouth to take a cicada.
Yeah, like it was massive. Like
Never mind.
that's vicious. That's fishing.
That's fishing. And I take it from the fish that you've read out, that was your day. Like you didn't get any more upgrades after that.
No, I didn't. And it was all in one little stretch of this tree canopy point type area. I did catch more fish off the cicada, but it didn't upgrade my bag, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay.
But like you said, DV, it's so wood fishing, right? That top water fishing for these things is like the ultimate.
It is. It's fun, and particularly when you can get such good fish at times.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I must admit, for me, it's been a long time since I've fished a place. The last time I did what you described was in the hacking, where the fish were taking it from deep water. Most of the time, I'm in the shallows cranking it out, but to get them in the deep water is something special.
Like I said, they must be keyed in on the vibration or the noise. I don't know if the noise would travel underwater, but it was pretty loud. Like this one section was just like lightning. Like it was that loud. Like
yeah, wow. Oh, very good.
And I found when I left that section and the cicadas like weren't as loud, the bite wasn't there.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah, I wonder. It makes you wonder whether they travel to it. Like if it was just one isolated spot, do they hear it and move that direction?
Deep down, that's what I think.
Yeah,
I dead set think that these fish are a lot smarter than us, and takes a lot to work them out.
Yeah, it does. And when you worked them out, tomorrow's going to be different anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so, tomorrow's a different day.
That's it. Mate, what were you throwing that on?
Long story short, all my reels, because it was coming to the end of the season, I sent all my reels off to get annually service.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to use my backup gear.
Okay.
Which was a 2024 dial black, 2000, and my Duff rods.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, mate, I reckon that's a pretty good rundown. Interesting day and different to the other two guys, which was very cool. So, all right, mate, you ended up coming in second place. What do you get to take home?
$450 cash, paid on the day.
Yep.
And the good old novelty check. How good are they?
They are very good. You got the silver second place behind you there, or grey or whatever it is.
Silverish greys, yep.
Covering up the Christmas decoration, I reckon. Oh, that's awesome. All right, look, last thing before we shoot off, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Yeah, 100%. Firstly, the missus, like, for putting up with me fishing pretty much. Like, I had a solid year, like, boats, kayak, etc. So I was probably, most weekends I've been away, so yeah, the missus. And two blokes that have taught me a hell of a lot. Like, I've only been throwing lures deep for probably 4 years, so it's still relatively new to me, this lure game. But two blokes helped me so much is Ryan Honeybrook.
Yep.
And Carl State. Like, them two blokes, the amount of knowledge between the two, and I've been like fortunate enough to fish with them all year. I'd say most of my successes come from them, like watching and learning from them.
Yeah.
So yes, them two as well. And Steve, Tackle Addiction. He's always got the gear ready for me, or just a phone call away.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
So, mate, did you ask him to get you some more cicadas?
I actually did. So Saturday night, after like probably 8 beers, 9 o'clock at night, I said, Steve, I need cicadas. And he said the rude word. And he said, I've probably got 4 or 5 in my tackle box. You can have them.
Yeah.
So that's the type of bloke he is. So Sunday morning, I forgot to get them off him.
As you do.
But he was willing to give them to me on the Sunday morning.
Well, there you go. How good's that?
But yeah, I did have one
Yep.
And that's all I needed.
And that's all you needed, mate. You didn't even lose it.
Yeah.
Oh, very
So,
good.
Those are the 4 people that I can
Very good. Very good. All right, mate. Well, as it turns out, you are the last interview I'm recording for this year, mate. So thanks for jumping on a bunch of times this year. Congratulations. And I'm sure I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dave. And you're doing a great job, mate. Like, keep it up.
Very good, mate. All right. Have a good night. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, Dave. Thanks, mate.
Okay, so finally in first place, we have an angler dropping his 3 fish measuring 45.5, 35.5, and 32, giving him a total bag of 113. First place and biggest brim. I have Jeff Kirkby. Welcome to the show, mate.
G'day, Andrew. How you going? Thanks for that.
Mate, what a great result, man. A cracking fish, like big fish to anchor the bag and take out your first win. How good's that?
Yeah, no, it's been a long time coming. Obviously, putting in the effort. I've done a lot of the comps, and that was one of the goals. Not so much yet.
Yeah.
Wasn't really a major goal of mine. It was just the basic stuff, Just get one fish in the bag. I don't want a donut.
Yeah.
Let's get a bag and let's get top 10 was this year.
Yeah.
I did, honestly, 113, I thought, no, it'll be bigger than that for sure. But one of the other goals, obviously, when you do these things is I get an early bag and I want to upgrade. I want to experience that sort of stuff, So
Cool.
I tick a lot of boxes.
A lot of
One
boxes.
was to talk to you.
Very good, mate. Here we are.
Yeah.
Very good, mate. It's always good to see some newer people on the scene getting on the podium. So I was pretty happy to see your name and a couple others. So how good's that?
Yeah, no, it was real good.
Very good. All right, mate. Let's get into the story. So tell us, and it's a good story as we get into the fishing day. There's a little bit going on there. Tell us what you did for pre-fish and getting ready for this comp.
Yeah, so I was pretty disappointed actually because round 1 was supposed to be at our local up at Tuggerah Lake.
Yeah.
And anyway, when they said Berowra, I said, oh, well, it's partly local because as a kid, me and my dad used to always fish there, mostly at night, but just throwing in, peeled prawns and live crabs and that to the shore. And we used to do okay. But for pre-fish, I recognised some of the spots, but I realised it was probably going to be a big field, so I wanted to go a little bit further. I know that there was a spot my mate used to talk about. It's called Neverfail, but it's actually not Neverfail. There's Neverfail Bay.
Yeah.
But then you actually go further out the wind, out the river. It's called Bennett's Bay.
Okay.
And just the points. I thought just the points there on a run out tide. It's called the Jara Crossing Trail headland.
Yeah.
And Budgewah Bay Fire Trail as well. It was in that area that I looked at, and just identified some rock walls. And so I was throwing some plastics and that in the pre-fish. I was doing no good. I was actually just giving up hope, and I snagged one of the plastics in close, and so I just pedalled in nice and slow just to recover it. And I just happened to notice all these multiple schools of little mullet and whiting and things like that. Whitebait.
Yeah,
and, I thought, the only thing I got close in there is actually a baby vibe.
Okay.
And so I threw one on. The daughter was a little bit discoloured, so I threw a black one on. And first cast, I got a 37.
Right.
Fish, and I went, oh, geez, that works.
Okay.
And so I just sat parallel to the shore, casting in pretty close. It's just out from the edges, but you can see a lot of rocky rubble just underneath the surface. And I'll actually, on my casts, on my retrieves, you can feel it bouncing off those things. I just got to add to the baby vibe that I was using. I actually had a sticky weight, the atomic sticky weights on the chin.
Yeah, right.
Had them glued on and sort of give me that extra weight. I used a floating one, and I really didn't get many results from that during the day.
Sure.
But the one with the weight on the chin that's actually produced most of the fish.
You're right.
But proceeded to catch a few then. I started to get excited, Nothing too major about the catches, except for about 4 or 5 times I got busted off big time. I was using 4 pound and they just smashed me on the rocks.
Yep.
Going back home, and then I've worked it out, worked the pattern out, realised what I was doing, and I was going to come back with a bit upgrade on the leader. That's what I did, and if I didn't do that, I don't think I would have caught the big fish. So
Yeah.
So
Well, tell me about the baby vibe. How are you rigging it? You putting 2 hooks on it?
no, just a single hook.
Yep.
Size 14.
14 decoy.
Yep, the decoys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The reason I ask that is if you're thrown into that rubbly structure, the doubles will foul up quite a lot, but the singles are pretty snag resistant, which is very cool.
Yeah. Well, knowing that I need to stay snag resistant, because I was using a couple of plastics and the elite prawns and stuff like that, and I was losing heaps of them.
Yeah.
But then the baby vibe I wasn't getting any snags with the single hook. And I actually prepared to use some plastics yesterday. So I was all going to go weedless, weighted weedless hooks and stuff like that on plastics. And I didn't get to use them. I just used the baby vibes.
Baby vibe. Fair enough. All right, let's roll around to Sunday. So competition day was a bit of a different day to the Saturday. I think we had rain and a few things going on, but Sunday was quite a bit calmer. And tell us about your day. Tell us about how you went about catching them.
Yep, no dramas. So the same as pre-fish. I got out. I just wanted to fish clean water where nobody else was fishing, and I had about 6.5 k's to the spot.
Right.
But I stopped along the way. There was somebody. I could see somebody fishing there already, so I just stopped along the way and started throwing the baby vibes parallel. So it took me about 45 minutes to get there, 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
There.
Yep.
And I got my bag pretty early. I got my first one, so just after I got there, got my first one at about 7:10.
Okay.
And I had my bag at 7:33.
Wow. Okay. So you got straight into them.
Yeah. And there was that many touches and stuff like that, and that was one of my goals to, try to get a bag first and foremost. No donuts.
No donuts.
And then, if I can, then upgrade from that. So I had the ability to get an early bag and try to get upgrades.
Right.
And I was catching heaps of fish, but they were all below. So I think the smallest one I had at the time was 27 centimetres.
Okay.
But nothing over 27. I was getting a few here and there, and but it was pretty good. I got a heap of flatty as well.
Okay.
But nothing to really to upgrade or anything. But,
right. But you said you were changing your leader up. You went from 4 pound. What did you go up to?
I went up to 8 pound.
8 pound. Okay, so that's decent.
Yeah, I thought about it. I thought, well, in the comp, I just can't let them smash me up like that.
That's it.
As I was doing in the pre-fish, so I was just going to muscle them out.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Obviously, on the run, if they weren't going to bite the 8, I was happy to go down to the 6 just to get the bite. But
sure,
yeah, the 8 pound did me well. I was still catching them on the 8, and water was a little bit discoloured after that little bit of rain. So
that's right. Yeah. Okay. Tell us about upgrading, mate. You must have got a couple of good ones here.
Yeah. No. So actually, the beast Bream that I got, he was on my way. I was on my way back. I thought I'd better start going back, and because there was a bit of wind picking up from the west, and there's still a bit of the run out tide, so I was going to be pushing it. So I thought I'd make my way, and I got to one of the spots that I really favoured actually, and I got around the corner from the point, and there was actually I wanted to fish the point because of the run out tide part of it, but there was somebody fishing there. It was actually Jamie Cole. I realised a little bit later on he was fishing the point, so I'd just gone around the corner from him, and I seen a patch of shadow in close to the rock wall.
Yeah, okay.
Straight into it. I had 3 cranks and actually smashed it, and it was a good thing because he started running out from the ledges.
Okay,
and
went the right way.
And so I was happy about that. But then, when he woke up and realised he was hooked, he went back in again. And with the westerly wind and obviously the fish taking me in there, I ended up in real close to shore, and I actually got beached on a bit of a ledge,
Oh,
and
wow.
my pedals got stuck. And anyway, I was starting to tip on me halfway to the right.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to keep me balance and have the fish, and then he's ducked back into this crevice up against this rock wall, and the only branch that was hanging on the side of the shore had about 2 inches of branch hanging in the water.
Yep.
And he got wrapped around this branch, and then he's taken off again and took the branch with him. And then I felt ping, and I'm going, you bastard, I've lost that one.
Yeah.
And then he come up tight again and started running. I went, so I brought him in. Anyway, Jamie Cole's come around the corner, and I'm still shaking by this stage. It was just a beast. And although I weighed in at 45 and a half, a couple of the guys there, we agreed that because I ripped myself off with about half a centimetre on the way in, taking photos, pretty amateurish type of thing to do, to trap for young players.
Yeah.
I didn't squeeze the tail down, so it probably could have been an extra centimetre there. And we officially said that, it was a 47, which was actually my personal best Bream as well. So,
right, that's pretty awesome.
Jamie yelled out, said, that's about 37, isn't it? I pulled it out the net and go, nah, mate, it's bigger than that. I showed him it. And the only photo I got was the video I took of the thing, because you're starting to bleed out the gill. Yeah, I wanted to get in the water real quick, so I didn't get other photos. So, but he swam off good. Yeah,
I was going to say, as long as you got a photo, and it's on a brag nut, so it's even better.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Oh, that's very good. Tell me about fishing the baby vibe. Tell me how you fish it.
Okay, so it's got the I put the sticky weight on the chin. Yep. So it's 2.5 gram sinking vibe, and I put a 1.5 gram sticky weight on it, so it's 4 grams in total.
Yeah, okay.
So I just let it sink a couple of seconds, and then I do a couple of short little twitches, and then start slow rolling.
Okay.
And then I twitch, slow roll, twitch, slow roll, so I can feel the vibe,
Yeah, okay.
And most of the times I was actually getting hit on after the twitch, and so that's that little bit of a pause there.
Yeah.
And then they come in and just smash it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how much contact you're making with the bottom?
It depends on the structure. So, you can actually see about 2 kayak lengths out from the shore. Mm. You actually can see the broken rubble. And it's just the occasional scrape, and things like that. But not too often, really.
Yeah. Yeah. And I take it I saw Adam put a post up. I take it that you were using the black and gold or the muscle color.
Yeah, the muscle color. Yeah, but in pre-fish, it didn't matter what color.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't matter what color, because I was getting busted off by these brutes. And whatever I had there, I was just chucking them on, and they do the same action anyway. And the only thing was, like I said, I had some without the weights on it, but some with the weights, and the weights were the ones that were getting the most. I don't know what that means, but whether it's just getting it down a little bit deeper in amongst the zone or something, I don't know. But they seem to be the ones that were working the most. Still caught them on the float with the ones without the weight on the chin.
Yeah.
But most of the action was on the one with the weights.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Like if it's weighted, it's just going to get down that little bit further. So
yeah.
Very good. Now you did catch a couple other good ones. You started off with the small bag, and they had a 35.5, so that must have been a decent fish too.
Yeah, no, it was a decent fish. So I finished fishing one part of the side and I'm looking for shade. I was looking for shade. So any of them points that were facing west or southwest, in this case, southwest, I was just looking for shade, and I was just throwing into there. At the 35.5, I actually threw in. This time I actually wasn't fishing parallel. I actually threw in close to shore.
Okay.
And it landed on the shore, and I popped it back in. And as it popped back in, all these little white baits and bait fish scurried everywhere. And it just went bang, clunk, I was on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was exciting. I had lucky again. If I had 4 pound, I'm not getting that thing. So the 8 pound really helped to land it, mate. So it was good.
Well, there you go, mate. You might have to go Getty style and get the 8 kilo out.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. And then you had another one. Your other one was 32. So even that's a pretty decent fish.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, actually, that was the first fish I caught.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, that was the first fish I got.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, I was trying to upgrade from the 27. It just didn't happen with the upgrade until I got the big one.
Yeah. Yeah, which was a great upgrade. And the scoreboard was interesting too. So basically you had Zane on 112, you on Rick on 112 and a half, and you on 113.
Yeah, I know.
So like you're that close to not getting it. So yeah,
well,
so good.
when Zane come up as third, 112, I go, no, well, second will do me. That's good. I was actually hoping. I didn't think top 10, but then when he came up as third, I went, oh, I got second, you beauty. And yeah, said Rick's name, and then I went, oh, no way, they can't be. So surreal, mate.
It's good what you said at this. You said you've ticked a couple of boxes. You've upgraded. You've got a big brim for the comp, so I assume that was a first.
Yep, that's
Have you
the
done
first.
that before?
No, never done that before.
Taking out the comp. Yeah, you've taken out the comp.
For me, because I only did I did one full season except for one round last year, and only got one bag. The majority of them were donuts, and you know what? The bag didn't even feel as good as Tunks Park because I actually only got one, but the majority of field didn't get any. It was a pretty tough day that day.
Yeah.
And I got a 37, mate, and I was disappointed until we weighed in, and I went, oh, geez. And I think that's actually what helped me make it into the grand final, to be honest.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, this is a good thing about comps is you have a gauge of how well you went, compared to how the day was. And as it turns out with this one, mate, you went the best. You beat everyone.
Yeah, unbelievable. I can't believe it. Because it's a pretty strong field. I mean, I've seen a lot of regular names in there who've won a lot of tournaments and stuff like that.
That's right.
I never thought it ever happened to me, but I mean, I guess there's got a little bit of luck involved, and which I'll gladly accept.
Yeah,
to finish up there like that. So, but you don't go into tournament to lose, do you? I mean,
everyone's trying to win.
Yeah, that's right. So, going fishing, winning, mate's good.
How good's that? All right. So, mate, you've gone out for the fish today. You've taken the win. What did you get to take home?
I got $700 for first place and $100 for the Beast Bream.
How good is that?
800 in total.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
Fantastic. All right. And, mate, last thing before we shoot off, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Yeah. Yourself, Andrew. I always watched all your podcasts. They're good pointers. They give you good tips and things like that for particular arenas that you're going to fish. Helps immensely. Be good mate, James Marr. We always bounce things off each other. We fish together locally up at Tuggerah, so we always bouncing stuff off each other. And, he corrects me. Actually, before I come on today, I forgot what bloody zero fish meant out of a bag. I'll remember it, but then I had to text him and I said, mate, what's a zero again? And he said, it's a donut.
Fair enough, mate. It's what we don't want.
No, that's right. Yeah. And look, I've ticked that box as well. Don't want to get them donuts. It doesn't feel too good. Got a lot of them last year, so if I can limit the amount of donuts this year, then it'll be even better. So,
well, mate, you've started in style, mate. Take out the win. Even upgrading is a really fun thing anytime you do it, but when you've never done it, it's pretty awesome.
Mate, it's a good experience, and
There's one thing you forgot to share, mate. You didn't tell the listeners about your mobile phone. What happened at the end? Yeah,
mate. So I've come in and actually I was trying to send a text message to my missus, and I looked up. The badge come up, low battery, and I looked at it. It was 2%, so I turned it off. I'm going, oh shit, I'm not going to make this, and I've got no charger in the phone. James didn't have a charger in his car. Yeah. And anyway, so I was about 10th in line, and I asked the guys, I said, can I quickly, so this doesn't run out, can I just jump in line? And they said, yeah, bloody oath, don't play with your phone, just show them the pictures. Yeah. And, in fact, when I showed Jose the photo, I got nervous because he said, I can't accept that fish, the big one. Can't
Right.
accept it. And anyway, I said, why not, mate? He goes, I can't see the code because it was only about a centimetre under the top of the brag mat.
Yeah, yeah.
And it'd
It's a
be
big
a centimetre
fish.
below as well. And I said, I know what it is, mate. And I can't what it is now. ZYB2 or something it was.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I can see, you can see the B and the 2. He goes, no, there's no JK in the code. I said, that's me initials, mate.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, that's right, yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
man.
mate,
He couldn't
he's
be
playing a
apologetic
classic
enough.
on you,
He
mate.
goes, sorry, and it was a
Very
relief.
good. That's all right. Good on him for pulling up if he thought it was wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, even if it was a mistake, and it's still good.
Well, and he also pulled me up about half centimetre over the front of the brag mat too, you know. So, but yeah, that's a lesson learned.
Yeah, and this is the thing, and like I said before we started, you know, I've made every mistake in the book with regards to that because you're nervous, particularly with a big fish. You're trying to get it done. You want to get the fish back. So there's lots going on.
Yeah, shaking like a leaf, mate.
Very good. And I'm not sure whether you said in the interview, but that was your that's your PB too.
Me PB, yep, PB.
Oh, mate, it's all happening.
Yeah, it is.
All right, mate. That's absolutely fantastic. Look, I'm really chuffed for you. Congratulations, and mate, more to come.
Yeah, I hope so, Andrew. Thanks very much for your time, mate.
Thanks, mate. Okay, so there you have it. A couple of things about that one. I do like it when new guys hit the podium for the first time. I think that is very cool. And obviously hearing the struggles that they've had to get there over the last year or two as it was. A couple of cool things, catching PBs, using new lures in competitions. I did do that up at Woy Woy in an AFT round on the Squid Treks and actually won the comp on that lure using it for the first time in the comp. Yep, so look, congratulations to those guys. Quick shout out to the new members of the collective and the vault that has been slowly building, and I appreciate you guys jumping on. We've got a Zoom coming up next week if you're still listening to this part of the show for the members of the collective, and we will be wrapping up our Blades challenge and introducing the new challenge. All right, appreciate you all. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you next time on the Lure Fishing Project.
Thanks for listening to the Lure Fishing Project. For extra episodes, the Big Bream series and more, join us at the Lure Fishing Project Collective. We'll catch you next time.